Yesterday we talked about linear versus nonlinear functions and how you can identify that from a table or from a graph. And today we're going to talk about the actual function rules to get from the input to the output. So to begin with, we're just going to look at some tables and see what we can observe. And so these all are multiple choice, and you're going to be looking at which one could be the rule for each function. So in this case, we have 38 to 51, 75 to 88, input of 2 to 15. And so I'm already noticing that, like, if I add 13 to each of these, that's going to get me the output. So I know that this is the rule. And you can double check by trying it with all of the inputs. But usually if it works for at least 3, you're good. Okay. Next one I'm looking here, 58 to 40. It's going down. 112 to 94, also going down. Oh, and they look like they're going down by about the same amount every time. So we're going to say, does this work to take away 18? Well, that works. 99 minus 18 does give you 81. Let's try another one. 97 minus 18. Oh, that does equal 79. 58 minus 18. Oh, that gives me 40. So I know it's this one here. Okay, we're going to go over here. Oh, this is going down by quite a bit. And they're all whole numbers still. So I'm going to guess we're not going to be subtracting here. We're probably going to be dividing by. So 42 divided by 7 gives me 6. 28 divided by 7 equals 4. 35 divided by 7 equals 5. 21 divided by 7 equals 3. So I know it's divided by 7. Again, it's multiple choice, so you can look down there and see what you think would work. And if you're not sure, just try them all. Okay, this one, oh, we're getting quite a bit bigger here, from 10 to 70 on number 4. And then 2 to 14 and 3 to 21. Oh, I'm already noticing this looks like I'm doing times 7 and times 7 and times 7. And that works for those, and it works for all of them. So this answer here is Q times 7. Pause the video if you can and try these next two. Okay, hopefully you noticed all the inputs on number 5 are being multiplied by 2, and all the inputs on number 6 are is having 6 added to them to get the output. Okay. All right, now we're going to look at a couple in just a different format. So these are the same type of thing, except this time they're horizontal table. It doesn't change a thing. We're going to be, again, looking for a rule. And so I'm looking here at which rule best represents the function machine. And I'm like, oh man, these are all kind of crazy. So I'm just going to start trying them. So times 8, so 3 times 8 is 24, minus 11. Well, that one's not going to work, so I already know it's not that. And I just said that 3 times 8 is 24, so it doesn't work for that one. And 3 plus 8, no, that doesn't work, so it's got to be this one. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 10. Oh yeah, that works, okay. I can try it on another one. 8 times 8 is 64 plus 10 gives me 74. 7 times 8 is 56 plus 10 is 66, so it works. So we know that that is the correct rule. Okay, again, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to say, okay, 6 times 9, because that's the first one here, is 54, minus 3 is 51. Oh, that works for this one, so maybe let's try that one on the second input. So 4 times 9, that gives me 36, minus 3 is 33. It works for that one too. Let's try another. 8 times 9, 72 minus 3 is 69. 3 times 9 is 27, minus 3 is 24. 7 times 9 minus 3, so 63 minus 3, that works for all of them. So I know this is the rule. We left out that it was the first one there. Okay, let's look at number 3. 17 is my input. 17 times 14 is going to be huge, so I already know that's not it, because then we're going to add more to it, and it's actually getting smaller. Okay, I also know that it's not getting bigger being multiplied by 5, and it's not going to get any bigger being multiplied by 9. So I immediately know it probably is going to be this one. It's the only one that's going to make them all smaller by 9. So 11 minus 9 is 2, 14 minus 9 is 5, 19 minus 9 is 10, 15 minus 9 is 6, and so we're just looking for the rules. So take a minute, pause the video, and see if you can figure out the rule for number 4. Okay, hopefully you figured out that it's this guy here. They're all going down by 8 each time, the input to get to the output. All right, now we're going to talk about function notation. So the old way is an x and y table. The new way, or the function notation, is f of x. Really, these mean the same thing. So our old way would be like y equals 3x plus 2. The way we would write that with function notation, the same exact equation, the same function, would be f of x equals 3x plus 2. And we just write that a little different because sometimes when we're talking about functions, we want to evaluate it for a certain number, and that's a way we can show that. So in our old way, we would say, okay, 0, 1, 2, and we would plug it in, and so we would say 0 times 3 is 0 plus 2 is 2, and 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5, and 3 times 2 plus 2 is 6, 7, 8, okay? But when we talk about function notation, we write it a little different. So if we wanted to do the same inputs of 0, 1, and 2, we would say f of 0 equals 3 times 0 plus 2. Well, that's still 2 as an output. Okay, we're going to have all the same outputs, but when we do it, we say f of 1 is equal to 3 times 1 plus 2. Okay, so that's 5, and then f of 2 is equal to 3 times 2 plus 2, which is going to give me 6 plus 2 is 8. So the same inputs and outputs, it's just a different way of, a different notation, a different way of writing it, and so it's called function notation. So f of x, that's called function notation. Okay. So then, if we come here, if we wanted to graph these two functions, we could use the function notation, and we just know that that's our input and our output. So I'm going to start with s of x, and we're going to do that here with -4. So I'm going to say s of -4, and that just means I'm going to plug -4 in for the x because I replaced the x there. So 1/2 times -4 minus 2. So 1/2 times -4, you can do that in your calculator, but that's -2 minus 2, which is -4. So my output there is -4. And then I'm just going to continue to do the same thing here. S of -2 is 1/2 times -2 minus 2. 1/2 of -2, you're going to do 1/2 times -2 in your calculator, you get -1 minus 2 still here. So it's -3. And then we know it's a linear function, so it's going to have a constant rate of change. So I can see that the pattern is going up by 2 on the top every time and down by 1 here. But I can also still plug that in and say s of 0. So 1/2 times 0 minus 2. That's just 0. 0 times anything is 0, so it's -2. Oh, yep, it follows that pattern, so we're just going to fill it in. Okay, and then we could graph those points and it should create a line. On this next one, we're going to do the same thing. So we're just going to replace the x, the t of x, with the number that we're going to use as the input. So we're going to start with -2 because that's the first input value in the table. And then in my equation, I'm going to replace the x with that -2. So we get t of -2 is equal to -2 times -2 is positive, so that would be +4. So that is 5. So that's going to be my output here. Now I'm going to do t of -1 because that's my next input. So 1 minus 2 times -1. And we can just continue this pattern and fill this in. So that's 3 Oh, and again, it's going down by 2, so I can use that then to fill in the rest. If you want, you can go through these steps the whole time to fill in the whole table, but if you notice the pattern and it's a linear equation, okay, that would be, you can just fill the rest of those in because it says it's a linear function. Okay, so again, the old way and the new way really don't mean a whole lot different. So when we would say y equals 2x plus 3, that would mean to, and then it says to solve when y equals 5. Well, now we're going to say f of x equals 2x plus 3 and define f of 5. We're going to get the same answer either way. So here we would say, okay, y equals 2 times 5 plus 3, because that's what it's asked us to do. So in this case, we would say y equals 10 plus 3, so y equals 13. If we're doing it in function notation, we're going to do the same thing, just instead of y, we're going to be writing f of 5. Now the good thing about this is you can see what you're solving for, what you're plugging in, and what it equals. So you see the x and the y value at the end. So when I get to the end here, 2 times 5 is 10 plus 3, I can see that f of 5 is equal to 13. So I would know that that is the point 5, 13, okay? Over here, at the end, when I just have y equals 13, I'm not given the amount of information. So the nice thing here when we use function notation is that we can see the x and the y value at the end when we're solving, when we're evaluating. Okay, so use that idea and evaluate the 5 functions underneath this on your notes. Okay. Last thing we're going to talk about is some graphs and comparing functions. Okay, so this graph shows the number of miles a helicopter is from its destination after X hours on the first flight. And then the second one, it travels 50 miles farther and increases its speed by 25 miles per hour. The function for the second flight is 350 minus 125x. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to use these tables to answer that question. We're going to use this table and we're going to fill it in from information from this graph. So I see at 0, this helicopter is 300 miles away after 0 hours, so when it starts. I see after 1 hour, it is 200 miles away. I see after 2 hours of flying, it's getting closer, it's only 100 miles away. And then after 3 hours, it looks like it's arrived and it is 0 miles away from its destination. Okay, we want to figure out and compare to decide which flight is going to take less time. Oops, sorry, that should say a 3, not a 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to use that function f of x equals 350 minus 125x. Okay, except this time we're going to plug in the hours as our x. So we're going to first figure out f of 0. So this first value that is going to be in here is 125 times 0 instead of the x. Okay, 350 minus 0 is going to be 350. Okay, that means this one starts, the second place starts out farther away. It starts out 350 miles away. So then we'll do f of 1. So after 1 hour, it's going to be 350 minus 125 times 1. So 350 minus 125, which is going to be 225. Again, use your calculator for that. Okay, I'm just going to tell you if we plug in 2, 350 minus 125 times 2. So 350 minus 250, which is going to give us 100 for this output here. And then f of 3 is going to give us 350 minus 125 times 3. Well, that's going to give us 350 minus 375, which is going to give us negative 25. So to make sense of this, this flight is faster, okay? Because it gets there sometime in between 2 and 3 hours, where this other one, this first flight, took 3 hours, the entire 3 hours, okay? So what this means is if it kept flying, it would go past the destination by 25 miles. Here, we would get there at exactly. So we know that that first flight is slower and the second flight is faster. Go ahead and complete the rest of your notes and then do the assignment.